The beauty of Indic religions is that none of them is actually monotheistic. The way monotheistic, one God concept is understood. And every West Asian religion, which includes the really peaceful and grand religion of the Parsis, Zoroastrians, they are all one God religion, monotheism. Now, the moment you bring in the idea of one God, a lot of serious problems come in religion. The biggest problem in case of monotheism is the problem of order. Why the problem of order? The moment you say that God is all good, God is noble, God has created, then where from comes this evil? Why man is bad? Why bad things happen to good people? And if God created, why I get tempted? Worse, God is all knowing, God is all powerful. We are talking about monotheistic religion. God is all powerful, God is all knowing, and God creates everything. So God created temptation. And He created temptation so that I get tempted by those sinful activities and then I go to eternal hell. If you look at any of those monotheistic religion, the conclusion always is the same. God created this universe, He also created these sinful activities and objects of sin. And God, being an all-knowing person or being, pure consciousness, He knows everything. So He knows that I will be tempted. And so He knew in advance that I will have to be sent to the hell. So what kind of God you are? I talk about a merciful God. A God who forgives me. And then you bring the idea of free will. And you will be surprised to know that tens of thousands of books have been written on the idea of free will. Where enters the free will and this and that. And actually there is no resolution to this conflict. So what Zoroastrians have done, the Parsis, they bring in a second entity who is actually responsible for the sinful activities. God is all powerful, but then there is this Ahriman. And this Ahriman becomes Saturn in Christianity. Because that way, things become very easy. So you have God and you have Saturn. God is all good and Saturn is all bad. Or whatever. I mean, he poses to be good, but actually is bad. So Saturn, the devil, he tempts you towards the bad. God is not responsible for things that you do. I mean, bad things. Saturn is. Whole problem is solved. But nobody realizes that. I mean, higher minds do realize that a much more complicated and serious problem comes. You now have two powerful beings. There is one God and there is Saturn. And when there is a meeting point between God and Saturn, who decides the common principles? For example, during the Second World War, Britain and Germany, they were fighting with each other. Now let's assume that these are opposite forces, God and Saturn. Now when Britain bombed Germany, the bombs fell at a fixed speed, which can be determined very easily by the laws of gravitation. And same thing is applicable to Germans also. So there is a third entity that unites the laws of physics with, as far as the fighting is concerned between, say, Britain and Germany, India, Pakistan, or any two countries. So whenever you have two opposite forces, there is a third thing that brings order. Otherwise, what will happen? Supposing these two are genuinely two independent, powerful entities. I throw a bomb, and you have such power that that bomb, instead of falling down, goes up. And when you throw a bomb, that bomb falls on me, because the rules of engagement are different. To make the rules of engagement common, you have to have a common principle. Now, who will bring that common principle? So you need a third entity. So, and instead of God and Saturn, now you need a third entity whose product is God and whose product is Saturn. And again that same problem continues. And this will continue infinitely. Every monotheistic religion has this problem. Try talking to the Christians or of any other religion who believe in one God. They do not have answer to this. Actually, they don't have answer to this. Either God himself is the devil who plans bad things for you and pushes you to hell, knowing very well that he has created temptations and you will be tempted by that, and so you will go to hell. So what kind of mercy is there? Either you say that if you are merciful, then how such things are happening with me? So it's being done by somebody else. And if it's being done by somebody else, Swami Vivekananda very famously said that, well, Satan must be very powerful, who creates obstacles even in the path of God. In India, we don't have any such issues. God does neither good nor bad, nothing. He is present as consciousness. So, who is really responsible for all this? Says, as far as death, destruction is concerned, it's time. Time devours everything. And later on, the Hindu people, they gave a personality to time. God is not responsible. He is neither merciful nor he is cruel. And God is neither forgiving nor he is vindictive. Neither he is a jealous God nor he is a demanding God. Nothing is nothing. It's pure consciousness. Where from the creation came, how the creation came, nobody knows. So we call it Maya. Why the infinite becomes finite? Why the consciousness becomes Jada, sentience? We have no answer. But what happens after that, that's very clear to us. The forces of nature take over and they make things go. And that's why we don't have eternal hell, nor we have eternal heaven. You do what you love. A murderer loves murdering, go murder. And slowly you will be only with the murderers. And then one will be killing each other. And once you are tired of murdering each other, then you will say, I had enough and now I want to go back. And then you start your journey back. That is how spiritual life begins. Not only there is this problem of one God is directly related to one life. What you do in one life will be judged and you will be sent to eternal hell. This creates a very serious problem. In India, there is no such problem. Your life is eternal and hell and heaven, they are temporary. It's just the reverse. Life is eternal, but heaven and hell, they are temporary. Whatever you like, you go on doing. You want to cheat others? Very good. Go on cheating. Slowly your mind will sink and you will be in the company of the cheats. And then there will be only cheats and cheats and cheats. And then there will be a city where there are only cheats, as is happening with our politicians. Everybody cheating everybody else. And then you get sick of it and you say, enough. I don't want this business anymore. And then you say that, okay, no more cheating for me. Now slowly you start moving towards some other vice. God is not involved in any of those things. But when destruction comes, time is the great destroyer of everything. This famous second law of thermodynamics that says that entropy increases with time. That is, disruption in the system, disintegration in the system comes as a law of nature with time. Time is a great destroyer. And there is nothing that is outside Lord. God himself is that great destroyer. He is Kal. He is the creator. He is the destroyer. So, the idea of credit and the idea of blame, none of these actually accrue to God. So says, I am the time, the great time. And later on, the idea of Kali came from this Kala, who is the great destroyer. Because nothing actually ever goes out of God. Once the creation is there, people move according to their tendencies. What you love, you keep on doing that. And when you get tired of it, you say enough, not turning back.